Hey techies, Anthony from HNE here, and today we're going to take a look at a product that we use here. In fact, we have three of them. The Logitech C920. Now we have both the X and S versions, and links in the description if you want to buy one for yourself. This is a mainline, like mainstream, and almost every streamer who doesn't use a CSLR camera or something uses one of these webcams. It is something that you really do need if you're live streaming and don't want to spend a whole lot of money. At roughly $70, sometimes you can hit sales. They're pretty good cameras. Now, I'm recording this on one of those cameras, and you are hearing audio from that camera because the audio setting, you can have 32 KB, like audio, stereo, blah, blah, blah. You can have up to 1080p, 30 frames per second. These are great cameras. And then you can also, if you have proper software, even use them for photography, which I do. So what you see in front of you is the box for the C920X. Now, I thought it was interesting because one of our older cameras, actually, I think the one that you're watching came in a different box. It actually came in this box. And if you look at Logitech has finally taken steps to reduce waste because this box is just filler and cardboard, but it's the exact same camera. Really no difference, at least as far as I can tell. Again, three of them, and all of them from different years. I think 2019, 2020, 2021. So honestly, have yet to see a difference other than what the stuff is labeled on the front here. And as you can see, it's just all the same stuff, nothing fancy, but still a great camera. So we're gonna put these boxes aside, and just real quick, here's what's inside. It's just papers, hey, buy more of our products. It's boring. At least, this one has cardboard in it. So, because we have three of these, I obviously don't have to take this camera apart and find a cell phone to take a photo of it on. So, I do have one of them in hand. This is actually the one I typically use for my view when I do panels. Now, keep in mind, other than the markings, zero difference. I do keep some of this stuff on. I know you're probably not supposed to because of heat or whatever, but this thing doesn't get, these just don't get hot. I don't know what else to say to you. So features. This does swivel a little bit, so that's useful, and especially useful when I have this one attached to the ring light, and so it gives me this reach. I also 5mm port here for the screw. There's a screw, and you have to be certain threading. It does this. So actually sometimes I'll do something where I maybe adjust the camera, face it upwards. I don't have to redo the whole rig. So you can actually go out this far. That's pretty nifty. And there's this little lip here. You're going to use that to do certain things with. I feel like some people might do this. I don't know why you would, but it's an option. It's actually meant to clip onto your monitor or TV set and be adjustable so you can get a better grip on it. And much like pretty much any webcam, it is USB. I honestly have tried USB 2 and 3 ports with this camera, and the only real difference is I've noticed that there's a little less lag sometimes in fast moving scenes. Like if I'm moving my head in a live stream, the 3.0 USB port, I don't, because I use that for these, I see a little less lag, but that just may purely have to do with data transfer limits and resources happening on the computer at the same time. But otherwise, it is a pretty nifty webcam. Now, there are stereo speakers on here for the mic, and then when the cam lights up, there is a red bar as shown on these images here, and it is not a ring light. It is not going to brighten your face. You definitely want to buy a separate ring light like the one I have attached to this camera here, but the features are all generally the same. Full HD, 1080p. You can do video calls. Obviously, anything you can do a camera, you can do video calls, right? It does go down to 720. Again, it's stereo audio with dual mics. There's one on each side here, and it has autofocus and light correction. However, I have come to the realization that in this void, if I leave light correction on, it does weird things, and sometimes because these lights, there are three lights here. There's the ring light and then two lights above. Sometimes things will get into sync with the frame rate, and you'll see those kind of gray bars kind of moving along the screen. So you might want to turn that feature off, which you can do in settings, typically with whatever app you're using. Now, about apps. this is plug and play. There is really no software for this camera. Logitech does offer a couple of options for you if you want to use their software to broadcast, and you can hook up 2 cameras using their software to record as well as take images. And the software worked until a recent update for me because I had 2 cameras on the big computer I use for editing, and it just stopped recognizing the second camera. Okay, well, nothing I can do about that. But I use other software to record anyway, so that other software works perfectly fine with multiple cameras. I've actually had 3 cameras going at the same time. So based on that alone, the fact that you can do multiple of these cameras on the same system, another perk to it. It does not use a lot of resources. My computer barely sees it, but my computer is a big chungus, so results may vary. Now, the only things I would recommend here is when you start a scene like this, go ahead and refresh the focus, because it sometimes takes a little bit of time for it to realize what it needs to focus on. And I'm not going to mess with it here because then I'll have to pause this video to go and figure it out. But otherwise, it's a great camera. I thought, you know what, I should point this out. Sometimes software updates, the camera will stop being recognized. That's actually what happened to my original one from 2019. It's now on my gaming computer, so I can record me when I'm playing games. And for some reason, my big chungus just can't recognize it anymore. The software for Logitech, I don't know why, but it installed on my other computer without having to have software add it, so it works out perfectly. And of course, I use other software that isn't Logitech based. One more thing I should add, if you are a gamer and you do the Xboxes or the PlayStations, this is compatible. So if you want to hook it up to those, it does work. I so far haven't had a problem with it. It doesn't matter which one it goes into. It just seems to work out of box. And that's great. If it doesn't work for you, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Take out the USB port, turn the system off, plug it in, turn the system on. I haven't heard complaints from anybody because a number of people do use these. There are not a lot of options for webcams on the video game systems, so it's not like you could necessarily wipe out your background or whatever. So you're doing it with full exposure to whatever you're doing. Of course, you can turn off the camera and just use the audio from it. But in that case, I would just say use a headset. They are a lot better quality usually than the speakers on this thing. Again, with only 32 KB, you can hear what I'm doing right now. If you want to hear me using my lapel mic, which I usually use for reviews, you can go pretty much any other video and you'll hear that audio. And that one is at 44 KB, which is definitely a better sounding, richer sound. Or actually it might be 48 KB, but either way, 32 is okay. It's not the greatest, but its image quality is great. Its sound quality is okay. Definitely for about $70 USD, it is worth a pickup, and I would recommend this camera. With that said, tell me in the comments what you thought about this device. Are you planning to get one? Do you have any questions? Let me know and I will try to answer them. Thanks for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe.